Alright guys, I am finally getting around to filming my review for The Lord of the Flies, just kidding, for Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Okay, so I don't even know where to start this book. I had it for quite a while because I got it on one of those like Kindle sale things, and then Leanna convinced me to read it because she was currently reading Golden Morning Star, the second one, which I still have to read because we're gonna buddy read the last one if I get my life together. But dear Lord Jesus, anyway, like I had to go even get the hard copy of this book because shit. Alright, so this book is about a dude named Darrow and okay, how much do I even tell you without spoilers? Okay, so it's a dystopian, okay, and it is stabby as fuck. That's basically like majority of what you need to know right there. It takes place like space-ish, like there's like not really interplanetary traveling, but they're on Mars. Okay, we cool? Alright, now in this world, the races are divided up in castes, basically, and the castes are based on colors. So there are reds, golds, pinks, browns, I think there are whites, maybe, I can't remember. But basically this caste is, the color you're born into is basically your standing, and it also determines like what jobs you are allowed to have. Darrow, who is a red, the reds are more or less the worker and the slave caste. Now Darrow, who is our main protagonist in this story, is content. Like he cool, he chill where he at. He's cool being red, he's chill with his job. As far as what the reds do for society, he has a fairly prominent job in his kind of a little territory area thing, so he's cool. Like he's chill, he's content, he's happy. People around Darrow are not. And so the things that kind of happened to Darrow in the beginning of this book that end up giving him a swift kick in the ass, I'm still mad. Like they took, how do I even word this? Darrow was basically in prominent enough of a position and looked up to enough to where other people would have followed him should he have chosen to rebel. But like I said, Darrow's pretty much chill with his position. He's fine with it. So the people around him kind of maneuver him in a position to where something happens to him and he gets like psychologically and emotionally broken enough to where he's just like, fuck this. I'm tearing shit up. And it's just, poor Darrow. Like, I mean, I didn't necessarily like how content he was with being a peon, but like, he didn't deserve that either. He did not. It just, gosh. So that, like I said, is like the first, maybe like sixth of the book. The rest of this book goes left. Like a lot of people kind of, that was right, but whatever. Can y'all sit still? A lot of people kind of, on Goodreads, have compared this book to, like the Divergent series and the Hunger Games series, and just, nah bro, nah. There are some elements, there's like one thing that I could have compared to the Divergent series, but the Divergent series fucked it all the hell up. Execution was not a problem with this one. And as far as like the Hunger Games, maybe if the Hunger Games, if the books, like if nobody just ever told me and the books are like 32 times more brutal than the movie, then maybe. But other than that, no. Like this book is closer to like Lord of the Flies, except instead of being kids that are like this big, they're like teenagers and they are not playing games. Like just shit. There's like this kind of a Civil War thing that happens. Like it's supposed to be like a game, like a survival game, but more or less basically it's Civil War. So one of the casts basically like turns in on itself. So before I even get to that, let me just, the only thing that I will say that I could complain about was this book was that the names in this book, everybody in this book had like 37 fucking names, and there are like 98 fucking kind of relevant characters. So there's Darrow, and then Darrow has his new name, and then he has a nickname, and then he has his family name. So sometimes he's referred to by the family name. Sometimes he's referred to as Darrow. Sometimes he's referred to as his nickname. And then he earns another nickname through like his deeds later on. And I'm just like, nah, that's just with Darrow, who is fairly easy to follow because he's the main character. Now imagine having this situation for like 30 fucking characters and you're trying to keep them straight. And none of them's named Bob, okay? So it's not easy to keep track of. It's just like, it's a lot. That's the only thing I can complain about, is just keeping all of that shit straight was a lot. Now, like I said, as far as a Hunger Games comparison, that's really like it. But maybe like Hunger Games for like adults times 30. It's reaching. Like, Hunger Games was kind of brutal. Don't get me wrong. This was brutal. It was dark. It was gritty. There were a lot of hard decisions made. There was basically like, it's kind of like what I imagine. I don't know if there was this prison experiment. I don't know. It was a book and then it was a movie. I can't think of what it was called right now. But basically, in this prison experiment, like the guy a psychologist set up these people to be guards and prisoners and just let them see what happens. So it's kind of like a mix between that and Lord of the Flies. Like, it turns into like a giant kind of like social experiment where you put these people in this environment and then wait to see if they rip each other's heads off before they like kind of tear it down and start over and rebuild it and like form their own like little society in this bubble kind of a thing. So usually when that kind of a thing happens, I don't know if you've ever read stories like that before, where the shit gets brutal. It's like a cross between a social experiment and just basically an entire rebuilding of a like mini bubble society kind of a thing. If you've ever read any of those books, seen any of those movies, like even like taken psych classes and that kind of shit happens, those experiments get brutal. Like, for this, it's not an experiment, but it is brutal nonetheless. Like I said, it is dark, it is gritty, there are a lot of hard choices made, and then a lot of the times they're just like, no regrets. Cut his fucking head off. Whatever. Shit. Oh, I love it. This is great. I love this book. I think I gave it 4 out of 5. I don't know. It's somewhere between, I'll say 4.5 right now because I know it was somewhere between those two. I have not read the second book yet because you read this book, you need like time to regroup. You're gonna be traumatized, but in a good way. Like, if you are not like sensitive to those kind of things, even still, you're just gonna need a minute because, like I said, it's just a lot. It's heavy, but it is such a fucking good book. I don't know why it took me so long to read it. I think it's because of like the cover of this one. I thought it was like a Russian history fiction thing. Dunno. But I need a minute to get my life together. Nikki, if you have not finished this book, what are you doing with your life? I kind of buddy read it with Nikki. Nikki Culver. Nikki was listening to it on an audiobook, and like I finished the book like a week ago, and I talked to her the other day, and she's like, I still have 7 hours left. And I'm like, dude, read the book. She's like, no, I need a minute. It's like, dude, read the book. She's like, no, trauma. So that's happening, and then hopefully I will read this one, and then Leanna and I can buddy read the third one. So that is my rambling pronouncement for this book. Like I said, the plot was fucking fabulous. The characters are awesome. Like they're like very like tri-dimensional fucking characters. Okay, there is no linear, like nothing. It's great. And then the world building, like I said, like the caste systems and like even the differences between the cast doesn't just stop at colors and jobs. They're like mannerisms. The vernacular is different. The vocabulary, they're just like the way they even speak. Like the sentence structure is different between the cast. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Just read it. If you haven't read it, what are you doing with your life? Go read it. Alright, that's all I got, guys. I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.